All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a full MLB slate we're going to talk about, but we're going to nerd out a little bit, talk about some metrics and things like that. It's been a weird MLB season, so took time yesterday to kind of put together some numbers, threw that in our Discord. Pretty interesting, so we'll talk about that real quick. So this is kind of what it looks like for the 2025 season. You can see kind of regular season and post All-Star break. So it's been the opposite of recent years. I mean, the underdogs have been killing it. It's usually the other way around, right? We have the trade deadline. You get teams that just kind of sell. And then the teams that buy kind of go on runs to make the playoffs. So we haven't seen that yet. So this is kind of broken down. You can see up top here. So the dogs, and this is based on if you just bet on every game, right? So if you bet on every favorite since the All-Star break, you're down 63 units. Pretty crazy. If you bet on the dogs, you're up 27. So every single underdog. Unders are definitely doing better than overs so far. Home favorites have been pretty bad, down 37 units there. If you're taking home dogs, you're doing pretty good. If you're taking just any dog, away or home, you're doing really well. And then kind of broke it down by line. So I thought this was pretty interesting as well. If you're taking the big favorites, you're down pretty substantially. You're down 40 units. If you're taking the mid favorites, so minus 149 to minus 110, you're down 22 units. And then if you're taking the slight dogs, right, so that minus 109, which is kind of that pick'em value, to plus 139, you're up almost 11 units. And if you're taking the bigger value, the plus 140s to the plus 200s, you're up almost 18 and a half units already in 20 to 23 games as all teams have played post All-Star break. And if you're taking the bigger favorites, you're down just a little bit. And then we can see first game of a series. Underdogs have done really well in the first game of a series. They're up 10.23 units in the first game of a series. We can see the unders performing better than the over. And away dogs have done pretty decent for the first game of a series, only down 1.03 units. But you can see it's kind of a losing battle. There's red everywhere. Kind of looking at today, some of our teams, we've definitely noticed that home favorites have done pretty well in the second game of a series. Home dogs have done really well. Away teams that are favorites have not done well, and away dogs have not done well. So focus a little bit on that. But I just thought this was interesting, something I put together pretty quick here to just kind of highlight where we're at this season. But when we go back to previous years, which I went back to 2020, it's complete opposite. You know, we usually see the favorites really start to take over in the second half of a season. So it's been an odd season is what I'm getting at. And post All-Star break has been awful for us. So we're down about 6 units since the All-Star break. So we need to really turn it around. We had a nice positive momentum rolling into the break, and we were up on the season, but now we're down a little bit. So we're not crazy in the red, definitely serviceable, and hopefully we start to kind of get that back on track today. So we'll talk about the games, go over the picks like we do normally. Recap from yesterday, we went 1-2. So we had the Rays and the Athletics over 9.5. That ended at 11, so we cashed that. We had the Tigers and the White Sox over 8.5. Crazy game. Love that pick. Would definitely take it again, but just no offensive showed up. It's not even like we had runners in scoring position. I think there was like 8 runners in scoring position between the two teams, so they just didn't hit. They kept hitting it right at people. And then we had the Dodgers on the run line. Yamamoto got smashed. Soriano threw a gem. So, 1-2 on the day. But let's bounce back today. Like I said, got 5 best bets that I do like a lot today. And we kind of incorporated a little bit of that data into these plays. The first game on the card is going to be the Mariners and the Orioles, kicking us off at 6:35. Man, there should just be day games throughout the week. It sucks. But you got George Kirby going up against Dean Kramer. This is one. So, and I'm not trying to be negative to somebody in the chat, but they posted like, why are you fading Garrett Crochet yesterday? Because I gave out the Astros. It's just pure value. It's speculative value. And kind of like I told them that this is one. Garrett Crochet's had 4 games on the road where he's been this big of a favorite, and it hasn't gone well. Like, you'd be down almost 2 units taking him and you're up if you fade him. So kind of the same thing. It didn't really matter if the Astros won yesterday or not. The value is still on taking the Astros. So same thing here. The value is on taking the Orioles. The Mariners, after a day of rest, are 3-4 when they have to play road games. Orioles, when they have a day of rest and they're at home, are 5-2. Kramer is a guy that pitches significantly better at home. He's got a 2.89 ERA. Kirby is worse on the road. He's got a 5 ERA on the road. Very hittable splits. Pitch mix looks really good for the Orioles today. So this is one, despite the Mariners playing really well, the value is just simply on the Orioles. So you can get them at like plus 140 or more right now. So there's just too much value here to take the Orioles. Next game is going to be the Martins and the Guardians. Jansen Junk going up against Logan Allen. Guardians been a hot team coming out of the break. Second best record in baseball at 14-6 since the All-Star break, which is pretty crazy because they are slowly starting to make their way up the division. They're second, not going to catch the Tigers, but really just kind of fighting for a wild card spot. If we look at the Marlins this year and the first game of a series on the road, not so good. They're 6-13, but when they're facing a left-handed starter, they're 7-5 on the road. Logan Allen is 0-2 this season in the first game of a series, and he's 4-7 at home overall. My issue here is the Marlins can't hit lefties. Over the last 2 weeks, over the past week, they've been abysmal. But what they have been able to do is get runners in. Once they get them on, they're very efficient at getting them in. Second best in baseball with runners in scoring position. But Logan Allen's not somebody I can get behind here. I have beyond zero faith in Logan Allen. Weather, wind's going to be slightly blowing out to right field. It's going to be 88 degrees, so pretty warm day here. I'd lean Guardians. I'm not going to put any money behind Logan Allen. I have zero faith in him. Next game is going to be the Phillies and the Reds. Ranger Suarez going up against Brady Singer. So Singer is he's something special. He's kind of hit or miss, but this is one, even when I was watching the Reds game yesterday, they were talking about how important it was that they won this series, or the first game, because they had back-to-back lefties coming up. So you get Suarez and Sanchez pitching here. So even the Reds announcers knew it's not good, and the Reds have not been hitting lefties. So 28th in baseball over the past week with a 2 WRC plus. That is bad. That is dead last. Dead last in K percentage, 33.3. They're 28th in walk rate at 2.6. Dead last in on-base percentage and OPS as well. So team that's struggling to get runners in. Had some blunders yesterday. This is one where I love the Phillies in this spot. Phillies are 10-3 on the run line. So that's -1.5 on the road when they're facing a starter that has a whip above 1.3 and they're starting a lefty. So love this spot for the Phillies here. We're going to take them on -1, but I really don't mind the run line either. You can get good value there, but we're just taking a -1. Splits on Suarez. He has been giving up a lot of hits. It's the only thing that makes me feel a little uncomfortable. 286 average to lefties, 309 to righties, but Singer has been getting torched by lefties. So Schwarber home run looks pretty damn appealing today. Phillies hit the slider really well, and Singer relies heavily on a slider. I mean, he's basically a fastball slider guy. So about 90% of his pitches are either a fastball or a slider. I can see him hanging some pitches today. I can see guys like Harper, Schwarber taking him yard, short porch, and right. So love me some Phillies in this spot. Let's see. We're good. Twins and the Yankees. Hey, welcome back, Yankees. Kind of came around. So a couple of splits I like here. Carlos Rodon has been really, really good. And he's going to be going up against a Twins bullpen day, which is essentially like a minor league bullpen day. This is a Twins bullpen that's 23rd over the last 30 days with a 4.86 ERA. Now, Yankees bullpen's not great, 4.61, but I think they picked up some pieces that are going to help them. Twins are 2-9 on the road when they face a lefty this season, so that's pretty crazy. And they're 6-25 on the road when the starter has a whip below 1.15, which Carlos Rodon is at 1.10. And they skew very heavily towards the under. 7-23-1 towards the under on the season. So love the Yankees here. We're going to use them as a parlay piece, but again, don't mind the run line here. Twins have been getting run lined like crazy on the road when they face a really good left-handed starter. So don't mind the run line here, but we're just going to parlay them with another team. Next game is going to be the Braves and the Mets. This is one this is pretty crazy to me. You get the Mets at like minus 140 something. You can get the Braves at plus 118 with Spencer Strider on the mound. Now Strider's not been the Strider of old. In fact, his splits over the last 30 days have been pretty disgusting. He's almost 300 average to lefties, 324 to righties. Hard hit percentage is really high. Exit velo's up, and he's not been that great on the road. He's got 7 away starts, got almost a 4.5 ERA. Clay Holmes has been really good against lefties, but man, righties have been torching him, giving up a 4.32 average. It would be the over 8.5 for me in this spot, or the Braves. Just can't really pay this price for a Mets team that has lost 7 in a row. I just can't do it. So like I said, it would be over or the Braves for me in this spot. Next game is going to be the Tigers and the White Sox. So, yeah, riveting game yesterday. And then just to make it worse, it got rain delayed in the top of the ninth for like 2 hours. Just rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with. But Jack Flaherty going up against Mike Vassell. I can't trust Flaherty at this price. That said, will the White Sox hit? I don't know. Weather-wise, it's going to be 82 degrees. Really strong chance of rain, 66% chance of rain, and pretty much just a side wind from right to left in this one. Yeah, I just can't trust Flaherty here. I mean, I have it as 6-4 for the score, but we really didn't see much offense yesterday. Don't know if I just can't trust this White Sox team, but it would be White Sox on the run line for me. So White Sox plus 1.5 would be the only way I'd play that one. Pirates and the Brewers, definitely game of the night. Brew Crew picking up that 10th win in a row, just looking outstanding, just destroyed Andrew Haney, which pretty much every team has been. Pissed we didn't take the Brewers yesterday. It's like, anyway, you get fastball Freddie Peralta going up against Paul Skeens. Skeens is Skeens. He's been outstanding. He's got a 2.15 ERA on the road, but Freddie Peralta at home, 2.13 ERA. And he's 9-3 at home on the year. This is just one where I simply don't trust the Pirates offense. I don't think they get to Peralta. Now, they did beat him one time so far at home when he's faced the Pirates, but I do have this as a very, very tight game. I've got it 3.01 to 3.05 in terms of the Brewers. So, but I can't fade a team that's won 10 in a row, and they're just ridiculously hot right now. Let's see, post All-Star break. What are we talking about here? They are 18-4. This is a team that's 18-4 post All-Star break. So give me the Brewers at a very affordable price here, just because it's Skeens on the bump. This might be one I could wait and live bet a little bit. This would be one like, I think we see a nerfy here based on it, but it's like minus 190. So wait until after the Pirates are out and the Brewers hit. So top of the second, when the Pirates come back up, line will jump towards the Pirates, and it'll essentially be a pick 'em, or you might be able to get the Brewers close to plus money. Not sure, but that's how I would play this game. Probably a live bet, but you're still getting good value right now. But it's Brew Crew or nothing for me. Nationals and the Royals. So this is one we definitely saw the Nationals put up a fight, got up 2-0 early, and then kind of blew it. It was 4-4, ended up blowing it. Mitchell Parker going up against Michael Wacha. This is one I can't get behind the Royals at this price, but I do think they win. Walker's been fantastic. 2.63 ERA at home, 3.36 on the season. Mitchell Parker's just been a dumpster fire at home or on the road, but he's been worse on the road. He's got a 6.10 ERA and just absolutely serving it up to righties, which there's a lot of righties in this Royals lineup. So it would be Royals for me. I have to take them like on the run line, but I think it's possible. Maybe Royals first 5 minus a half a run to find some value there. So that's how I'd play that. And then we get the Rockies and the Cardinals. So this is going to be Matthew Liberatore going up against Kyle Freeland. Kind of rinse and repeat exactly what I said about the Cardinals in that Cubs series when they faced Boyd. And then, oh shit, who was the other lefty they faced? Why am I drawing a blank here? Imanaga. So same thing. They're hitting lefties extremely well. 397 over the past 2 weeks, 356 over the past week. You get Kyle Freeland, who's got a 4.75 ERA. Now, Liberatore has a pretty elevated ERA, but it's a Rockies team that's been somewhat okay. But man, I like the Cardinals to just absolutely come unglued on Freeland. So give me the Cardinals and the Yankees. We're going to pair those two together. We get plus 112 odds here. I like this spot for the Cardinals. I think they absolutely destroy them. Next game is going to be the D-backs and the Rangers. It's going to be DeSclafani going up against Jack Leiter. Leiter's looked really good lately. His last 30 days been fairly solid. 184 average to lefties, 152 to righties. Hard hit percentage is a little bit high, so that does concern me. It just always comes back to the same thing. Will the Rangers hit? And the D-backs jumped all over Eovaldi yesterday, which is pretty wild. He had a string, like I said, like 14 games in a row with 2 or less earned runs, and they just smacked him early. So you got a Diamondbacks team that is kind of heating up a little bit. They're 6-4 in their last 10. And the Rangers, what will they do? They ended up coming back. That was a pretty wild game. Ended up being, 6-6, and then they won it in the bottom of the 10th. But the D-backs are starting to heat up a little bit. They're starting to put up some runs at least. But you still got this horrible bullpen. Case in point, last night blew a, 5-2 lead, something like that. Yeah, it's got to be Rangers for me. It's not the greatest price ever at like -149, but it's not too bad. DeSclafani is just still not somebody I trust. 286 average to lefties, 207 to righties. Hard hit percentage isn't bad, but his arm's not built up enough. He's only gone 30 innings on the season, so maybe he gives you 4. Then you're turning it over to this just god-awful bullpen. So it's Rangers for me in the spot. We got the Red Sox and the Astros. Spencer Arrighetti going up against Dustin May. This is one I like, the Astros. We saw the Red Sox sweep the Astros at home. I think we might see the same thing today. My only concern is Arrighetti coming back off injury, didn't look super sharp in his first start. So he's got 13 innings under his belt. And you got Dustin May, who is a guy that I definitely don't trust. So this would be a over 8 for me. Love the over 8 in this one. We saw a bunch of runs yesterday. I think we see that continue today. It is 2 teams that are hitting really, really well. Red Sox hitting 262 against righties over the past 2 weeks. Astros hitting 271. Splits on these guys are terrible. Dustin May gets rocked by lefties. He gets hit pretty hard by righties. Hard hit percentage through the roof. Not great with runners in scoring position. He's got a 7 ERA on the road. So give me the over 8. But I do like the Astros to win the game. We got the Dodgers and the Angels. Stinking Dodgers. Emmett Sheehan going against Victor Mederos. So we get a bullpen day for the Angels. Yeah, I mean, this guy's got 4 innings under his belt, so we don't know a lot about this guy. But do I trust the Dodgers right now? I mean, I had some faith in them. I do think they get the job done. I see a pretty high-scoring affair here. It would be over 10 for me. Maybe Dodgers run it back on the run line. I think Soriano just pitched extremely well. But this is still an Angels bullpen that I do not trust. All right, Padres and the Giants. I liked the Padres yesterday. Came through. It's Nestor Cortez going up against Robbie Ray today. I think you got to go Giants in this one. Cortez is just somebody I have zero faith in. My only issue is Giants are terrible hitting lefties. Like there's bad, and then there's really bad, and then there's like really shitty, and then the Giants are beneath that. They're way beneath that. They're hitting 169 over the past 2 weeks. That is dead last in baseball, hitting 154 over the last week. But Nestor Cortez, he's got 12.2 innings under his belt, but man, not a dude I trust. Robbie Ray at home's been pretty stout, 2.58 ERA. Under 7.5 is live in this one. I think that's probably the way I would play it. I think Robbie Ray subsides them to some degree. And I think Cortez probably pitches okay because the Giants can't hit a lefty, but under 7.5 in the Padres for me. And then last game on the card is going to be the A's going up against the Rays. Rays got the job done yesterday. I like the inverse today. Give me the Athletics on this one. Jacob Lopez threw an absolute gem in his last outing. And it's a Rays team that has struggled to hit lefties, hitting 204 over the last 2 weeks, 224 over the past week. We've seen them get to some lefties in some spots. But I love the bounce back factor here with the A's coming back. Like I said, second game of a series just generally tends to gravitate towards the home team. So give me the A's on the money line. I think Lopez continues to deal. And I think the Athletics wake up and start to score some runs today. I think Baz on the road is very gettable. He's got a 4.92 ERA overall. It does drop to 3.34, but He's pitching in a minor league ballpark, very similar to at home, and we've seen him get absolutely rocked. He's got a 1.34 whip, 1.48 home runs per 9 innings. I like guys like Nick Kurtz hit home run. Yeah, I think the A's come unglued. A's team total over could be a possible bet, but with this number, it's a bit high. So yeah, just give me the Athletics. All right, let's get into our best bets, get you guys on your way. Appreciate you tuning in. First play is going to be the Phillies, -1. I love Ranger Suarez, a lefty going up against the Reds, and we get Brady Singer. My bad. Don't trust Singer. Cardinals and the Yankees on the money line. Pair them together. We get +112. We're going to take the Astros and the Red Sox over 8. I like this Spencer Arrighetti, Dustin May matchup here. Should be very hittable. Cardinals, we're going to take them race to 4. They've just been crushing lefties, and Freeland is not a good lefty. So like the Cardinals race to 4 at -125. And then last play is we're going to take the A's on the money line. We're going to back Jacob Lopez and trust this Athletics team. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.